morning, boys and girls. This is Miss Villalobos, and today for reading, we're going to generate relevant questions during and after reading. We should all be very familiar with this. We've been practicing this for quite a long time now. Okay, we're going to do that with the story of the week. The title is Amazing Migration, Butterflies, Bats, and Birds. Now, we always begin with asking questions before we read. So before we read, let's ask questions. Let's think about questions that we may have. Example, what is migration? I say that because I see it right here in the title. It says amazing migrations. Okay, it says butterflies, bats, and birds. So I ask myself, how long do bats live? How long do butterflies live? Do bats and butterflies live in the same place? I ask these questions and I talk about bats, butterflies, because I see them here in the title and here on the cover. Okay, those are questions that I have before I read. So now I'm going to focus during my reading. So as I read, I will stop, reflect, and ask questions. This will help me comprehend the text. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. Amazing migrations, butterflies, bats, and birds. Some animals live in the same place all year long. I'm going to ask a question. I have a question. Which animals live in the same place all year long? Okay. Now, I continue reading. Others move to new homes when the season change. Oh, I have a question. During which seasons do these animals move to a different place? I want to know which seasons. These animals travel from one habitat to another. This movement is called migration. My question right here, what is migration, has been answered. I see it right here. It says, these animals travel from one habitat to another. This movement is called migration. Okay, so migration is the movement of an animal from one habitat to another. Very interesting. Now, after. These are questions I still have after reading the text. So I'm going to think about what questions do I still have after reading the text. Well, I have a question of which animals migrate? Where do they migrate? I have a question. How long do they stay in each habitat? Now, let's practice. We're going to go ahead and read these 2 pages. You have the text. Pull out the text and turn to page 389 and 390. Okay? Before we read, let's look at the subtitles. It says 3 animals that migrate. And then we have right here migrating insects, monarch butterflies. So based on those subtitles, the subtitles are the titles of just this little part of the text and then this little part of the text. So based on that, let's do the before. Questions before. So what questions may we have? It says 3 animals that migrate. What questions may we still have? Well, if it says right there, the title says 3 animals that migrate, I'm going to ask, what are the 3 animals that migrate? Where do they migrate to? I have those 2 questions right before I read. Do you have any others? If you do, this is the time, go ahead and write them right here in this column where it says before, because that's questions we have before we read. Now let's go ahead and read. 3 animals that migrate. Monarch butterflies, Mexican free-tailed bats, and Arctic terns all migrate. They don't look like each other, but they all fly. Okay? So we got our answer to this question. It says, what are the 3 animals that migrate? And it said right here, monarch butterflies, Mexican free-tailed bats, and Arctic terns all migrate. Oh, so we got the 3. Now, let's ask questions during the read. So as I read, let's think of questions. They don't look like each other, but they all fly. They live in different habitats. Where do they live? I have that question. What is their habitat like? It says right here, they travel over long distances. Well, do you have a question about that? I do. I want to know, how far do they travel? Okay. And it says right here, all 3 animals migrate when the seasons change. Okay, let's continue on to this one. Monarch butterflies have orange, black, and white wings. During the summer, these insects live in the north. In the fall, the weather becomes cold. They fly south to a warmer climate. In the spring, butterflies return north. Do you have any questions while we were reading? Please write them right here. Now let's think about questions that we still have after we read. Well, if I look right here in the text, it says they fly south to a warmer climate. Well, I want to know, where is the south? Where exactly do they go? In the spring, the butterflies return north. Where is the north? Very good. Now, class, I need you to read these 2 pages. I need you to ask questions before you read. While you're reading, I want you to read a sentence, pause, and see if you still have a question. Write that question in the part where it says during, and after you finish reading both pages, I want you to write questions that you may still have. Okay, you're going to do that for pages 391 and 392. Good luck!